Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2. Today we are probably taking the Black Pyramid of Nagash, provided that no more giant dead frogmen pop up who have to be rescued. So do we have the movement to get over here right now? We don't. This is going to be a, who gave you an order to move over here? Okay, well, don't do that. That's not a thing you should do. I think I am going to swap, unless, does he have the siege attacker trait? He doesn't. Okay, I think I am going to swap one of the dinosaurs back into Yarick's army, just so that Yarick has siege attacker available so that he can attack the Black Pyramid right away. And whatever dinosaur is in his army leading the charge needs to be fresh. So I think it could be the Stegodon. I don't know that the Stegodon's going to do quite the same damage to the gate. I don't actually know how gate damage is calculated, if it's a function of weapon strength or if there's something else going on with that. Let's swap the Stegodon back. I think I'd rather swap the Stegodon back. The Carnosaur definitely serves some purposes in Tiktaq'to's army. Yeah, let's swap the Stegodon back. So we'll give you this Stegodon and we'll take, I don't know, some... Should I take a flying unit maybe? I'm going to take a ground unit because I want to maintain the flyer density in the army that's actually going to be attacking the city. Yeah, this one. Okay. So, we don't have the movement to do the thing we want to do right away. We're not at war with either of these forces, so I think we can probably just, like, move deep. I don't think they're going to declare on us or anything here. Let's not move close enough for the city garrison to get involved in the battle in case a battle does occur. Really, that's the farthest you can move in March mode. Huh. That's strange. Okay, well, huh. Why was his March mode move lower distance than Tiktaq'to's normal mode move? I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that we traded units while one of the armies was still in encampment mode, so that unit was represented as having 0 movement range left. It shouldn't have been. I mean, that's obviously a bug if that's what happened, but that could be what happened. It's the only plausible reason for why he'd only be able to move about 10 feet in March mode. Alright, let's just keep moving down the coast over here. That's Illyrion. Is that a faction that we had already dealt with? I think that's a new one. They don't care for us, you know. Great power penalty. Never mind, let's not worry about it. And over here, Roxburgh is just desperately trying to make contact with any distant lizardmen. So I think, like, over here is where we're headed, although it looks like there's an awful lot of Skaven between us and there. Okay, well, now we've met them. Can we get some kind of positive stuff going here? This is a little awkward. So we've already got a great power penalty large enough to offset their affinity, and our great power penalty is only going to climb. If we can't get these guys to start liking us, then Confederation will be extremely off the table. There are a couple of ways that you can push Confederation. If you can get them to like you a lot, it does make things easier. But you can force Confederation with military strength. If they think that you will eliminate them from the game, they will join up rather than die. So that might end up being how we have to do it. That's not what I want to do. Let's try offering a little bit of money. Maybe that'll work. You know what? I need my money. We'll figure this out later. We have a lot of upgrades and stuff that we need to get done. So, first of all, let's look at what we're thinking of as our recruitment territory. We don't need this old one monument anymore. That'll free up a slot, and let's go ahead and cap out Fyrus. Let's get ourselves another building slot. Oh no, wait, that's right. I was going to hold off to upgrade Elhake. That is probably a good idea. That gets us more building slots than upgrading Fyrus anyway. How expensive is that? Okay, so we probably just want to save money this turn. And let us grab a new research. So we're not just looking at the stuff that's in this line, we're looking at the stuff beyond as well. What do we really want? This lets us recruit higher level dinosaurs, higher level Croxagors and Temple Guards. We sometimes make an awful lot of money when we attack settlements. I believe that looting settlements line refers to the amount of money that you make off of winning a settlement battle. And then obviously the sacking settlements is hitting the sack option. Leadership +5 for everybody I don't think is a huge deal. We do have access to this whole line. Do we want to push down here? Diplomatic relations up with high elves and lizard men, but only a little tiny bit. None of that stuff is exactly mind-blowing. Income from trade up 10%, income from ports up 10%, income from cities up 15%. That seems pretty good. Upkeep down for skink units. Speed and melee defense up, and then Croxagor buffs. I'm not clear on what... I'm not 100% sure what this means. Because our pterodons are skink units in a sense, right? It's skinks that pilot all of them. But my guess is that that skink units thing refers to units in the skink line, which is to say units that come from the skink recruitment building that have the word skink in their name. It would be nice if things were tagged in some way to make stuff like this a little clearer. But I think I'm going to do this line that gets us more money from all of our things. How much are we making from trade right now? It's probably not a huge amount. There's an overview of this somewhere. Oh, you know what? I think there's a button for it. Oh, this thing. This thing is the button for it. So right now we're making 126 off of that tech, the 10% up. That's not great. But 15% gold from cities is a pretty huge amount. I think that's definitely worth building toward. Okay, so we're not doing this. I guess we're done for the turn. Where are we at on these? We're 9 turns off of having the Red Tsunkia available again. Probably we will find a use for it almost immediately. Yeah, I guess we're not doing any rights. We just gotta save money. We still have a lot of development to do. Single settlement provinces are really nice. We'll take this place and it'll be well under control immediately. And then the battle for Khemri is going to take a while. Unfortunately, we're going to get pretty bogged down in that. I'm hoping that the orcs will stomp some of Nuas's armies out for us. But you can never rely on an orc to do anything. They're very flighty, arbitrary creatures. Sorry, that's not true. You can rely on an orc to fight, just not necessarily the person that you wanted them to fight. They'll definitely fight someone. So if we're not going to be able to talk the last defenders over just with compliments and bribes, then that means we actually do have to march an army all the way over there. I was kind of hoping we could figure out a way to do this without having to march somebody over there. I don't really want that to be Tiktaq'to or Yarick, because I would really like... I think Tiktaq'to is a very, very good offensive kind of slash and burn army, and I definitely want them just outside of our border. And I also want Lord Croak available for big fights. So maybe this is a third army kind of situation once we have a little bit more of a stable economic ground. Got some of our cities more developed, we got some more income. Build a third army, send the third army over here. And all we have to do is establish a foothold, and then we can build up from there. There's a lot of empty-looking settlements that I'm sure are actually Skaven, but we're pretty good at fighting Skaven. I think we'd probably dig into some of those. At least we've been good at fighting Skaven in the past. Who knows, once they're actually, like, teched up. Although the Skaven in that last battle were pretty teched up. People are performing their rites all over the place. We just don't care about that. Elves are fighting over elf swords. Okay, we have enough movement to actually hit the Black Pyramid this turn. We have enough movement in normal mode to move considerably past the point that we moved from in March mode last turn. It must be the case that swapping the unit over while the army it swapped out of was in encampment mode left that unit with no movement, but like that's very silly. Alright, so there's no strategy here better than let's charge them. Pretty sure.
Usirian warns against a pact with you, so speak now.
Well, I don't know who Usirian is, but that guy's smart. You should give him a raise. Sorry, you should have given him a raise. It feels like it's a little late now. Right, lightning strike, obviously, yeah, that does turn the bar around, doesn't it? So these battles are going to be pretty straightforward. Unfortunately, there's just no way to, there's no way to auto-resolve this safely. And we do need to keep Tiktaq'to's army relatively strong, because that final settlement battle is actually going to be maybe a little bit hard. They have some war sphinxes and stuff. They have some high-tier Khemri units that we haven't seen before, but that I know from previous experience are dangerous. The number one thing we have to watch out for here, the thing that's going to cause the most damage to us without doubt, is... yeah, okay, that's fine. Is that Ushabti summon at the end of the Realm of Souls thing. So we gotta be wary of that. That means that I want to spread out my salamanders a little bit. Try to put these guys down in such a way that the unit of Ushabti can't be partially in both of the salamander units at the same time. And then a lot of our ground units, I mean, you know how this goes. A lot of our ground units are going to just kind of stay out to the side. Are you guys... You are spear riders, so you are anti-large, right? Yeah, considerably, in fact. 14 points of bonus versus large is pretty good. So we can keep them nearby, and they can also help with the Ushabti. And then we just have even more flying units than we had before. I gotta say, I'm pretty unimpressed with this Manticore thing. I have been told in the comments that the Manticore is the worst flying monster, and I 100% believe that. He seems to be horrible. They don't have any cavalry or anything, so we could start the blowguns up here and poison people as we move back, but I don't know that it's actually worth doing that. I think let's save the poison for when they actually try to engage us in melee. And then do I want the melee group to be closer to... I probably do. I want the melee group to be closer to the salamanders for Ushabti purposes, and just so that when the melee troops get to the salamanders, we can catch up with them easily. Alright, I think that's pretty reasonable. Maybe even put him here, because he's pretty good at fighting Ushabti. Alright, let us start the thing. So first of all, Wizard needs to move forward. Let's get our initial orders in here. You know what you gotta do. Actually, we should probably have him drop his rock first, because otherwise I'm gonna forget to have him do it. And it's probably not worth attacking the Ushabti with the Fire Leech Bolas. Who over here? Like, we gotta... I guess we gotta get rid of the units of the 2 units of skeleton archers, right? These flying units are gonna have to do a lot of work. Maybe I just have all of the normal pterodons do it, and then the Fire Leech Bola guys can keep working on spears. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, let's have this guy throw down his 1 rock quickly, so that he can get very focused on the business of shooting poison at that lord. Those archers are really running. Look at how dense they are right here. That'll work. Okay, Wizard, just drop his rock as well. And also, a nice big amber spear. Please, just run directly into this guy. He does have 22% damage resistance on him, I guess. Whatever, it's certainly not going to be the only opal spear we drop. Or amber spear, rather. Now let's get Tiktaq'to's rock throws going. Just sort of the densest part of the enemy formation, right? Actually, they're pretty dense right there. That's not a bad spot for it. Look at these archers, too. Cooldown's too long. Okay, that was a pretty good hit. Okay, so... Obviously, it's pretty important that you guys blow up these Ushabti as thoroughly as possible. I don't know what we're going to do with the Ripperdactyls. I'm always a little leery of engaging them now, because we've seen them get really torn apart very quickly on a couple of occasions. They're just shock cavalry, and that's the way I've got to think of them, but I'm not good at using shock cavalry traditionally. Alright, Realm of Souls 1. Where's that other unit of archers? Do we have them under control? Yes, they are already crumbling. Damage sustained. They are not a high priority. This can be the next drop. Okay, pretty effective. Looks like those Ushabti are having a hard time on the approach. Get him. Never mind. You don't need to get them. They're gone. Alright, here we go. This is why we put the dudes here. So you guys have to break off quickly if you can. We need to make sure that there are poison darts coming in, and I'm going to let the Carnosaur maybe take some fire damage here. We got to hold the Ushabti in place somehow, right? And I think he's going to die less than any of our other melee units. That's the place we're in right now, measuring relative levels of dying. I think it's time for probably another Amber Spear. Looks like I might have missed the last one. Oh, this guy is on horseback. Alright, well, he gets to dodge again. Let's see if he can pull it off. And who's got rocks left? You got rocks. There are some relatively healthy units approaching our side. Let's fix that. I will say, this is a fun army. Like, the micro is fun to do, even if I am bad at it. They managed to get out of there? They did. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm going to have the melee move up now. It looks like it's time for that. That means the salamanders have to move back. It looks like the Ushabti are under control. I don't think we're in a very dangerous spot here. You guys can have at them a little bit if necessary. Yeah, we're cool. We're cool, everything's fine. I don't think I want to hit that group, I want to hit these groups here. In particular, the spears. Okay, those guys will break down, like, immediately. I guess these guys must be the ones who have been fired at by the skeleton archers. It seems like they're not really doing a lot of damage aside from to this one unit. You gotta commend their focus. Okay, fall back. You guys can start launching. Those Ushabti are in the salamanders again. Carnosaur is getting very focused on the wrong ones. Okay, I think those guys are probably a little bit more under control. We still got rocks left, right? There are some units over here that need to get hit. Maybe you probably have these Colossedon riders like fall in on the back of the units that are approaching our side. Okay, that's pretty good. That was a pretty dense group that got hit there. You guys can back out. You guys stay on them. The poison slow is really powerful. And you can see here, like, these Temple Guard do a much better job of surviving in melee combat against our enemies, and they're terrible at killing stuff. Just absolutely horrible at it. They're probably pretty good at killing large enemies. How far back did I put these salamanders? Because we do have this other group of Ushabti who have to get killed. You guys should probably knock them out real quick. We can have the Cold One Spear Riders charge the Ushabti from the side, if we can set that up. And who still has rocks? We still have rocks, definitely. Like, I haven't really dropped all that many here. Okay, feels like those guys are in pretty bad shape. Alright, Carnosaur's got the Ushabti. Man, he's just, like, really good at his job. Have our range charge over here, I guess? I'm gonna try a rock drop. I think the battle's over. You can see they're all crumbling. But let's just speed things up as best we can. Oh. Never mind, the Cold One Riders got there a little faster than I thought they were going to. I thought we were going to be able to get a clean drop-off before the charge. Okay, pretty easy and clean there. Who's still up? The enemy lord got in the middle of the melee and survived for a remarkably long time. 35 losses, not too bad. They were all salamanders, which is certainly not ideal. It's a little bit harder to control the Ushabti with a Carnosaur than I would like, on account of there only being one Carnosaur. So, like, this is the reason that it's not a great idea, in my opinion, to have a melee line that is composed solely of monsters. If you have, like, a unit of Temple Guard, they can tie up an entire unit of enemy figures. But a Carnosaur, as terrifying and fantastic as he might be, is only really capable of keeping a small number of enemies busy at any one time. So, a bunch of the figures in the enemy unit can run off to do the thing that you were trying to prevent them from doing. Well, I think we're definitely going to take a kill and eat, because it looks like that completely replenishes our losses. Got ourselves an Opal Amulet, which gives temporary damage resistance. This is what that Lord used at the beginning of the battle. And we got ourselves a Sacred Plaque Librarian. Well, research rate up by 10% is a thing that I feel like we ought to have equipped. Can we put him here? Yes, we can. Oh, and also you could get bonus leadership while fighting Skaven. Why not? Make sure all of our followers and nonsense are actually attached to people. Alright, let's do that battle again. We are completely in perfect shape, except for the slightly damaged Carnosaur. So if the damage that a unit deals to a gate is derived from its straight weapon damage, the Stegodon should be roughly as good as the Carnosaur is. It's only got like 10% lower weapon damage at smashing the gate. We'll just put it in melee mode and have it charge. I guess, you know, there's definitely something to be said for the fact that the Carnosaur is crazy fast. He gets up to the gate without taking a lot of range damage. But that Stegodon is tougher than the Carnosaur already, I believe. He'll be fine if he has to get shot a little bit on the way over. Alright, so again, 2 units of archers. This time no Ushabti in the army, so we just have the one group from Realm of Souls. And the thing we did last time seemed to work pretty well. Make sure we keep the Temple Guard. The Temple Guard nearby, because they're the ones who should break the hold of the Ushabti. And yeah, the rest of the melee units just kind of hang out nearby. Alright, same deal. Same deal, but this time slightly better, as always. Sorry, that is always the intent. I don't mean to say that I am always doing better, because that's just, like, provably not the case. Okay. Is their lord... Okay, this lord is on foot. That probably bodes pretty ill for him. I think he's going to have a much harder time dodging the spear. So I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive with the archers this time. Let's try to not take so much damage. I'm going to, like, really commit units hard on them. And we are going to drop our initial Skink Chief Rock on the archers as well. Am I, though? Look at how densely packed these enemies are. I'm going to drop it over here. Change my mind. Hey, you know, just the one rock doesn't really do that much damage. I'm just going to go ahead and drop his now. He can hit those guys. And then... Where is Tiktaq'to? Tiktaq'to is going to drop on some of these front dudes. because his rock has an additional slowing effect, remember. So we can reduce the speed of this initial march. They're learning. Everybody's like, well, I don't want that thing to happen to me. Okay, we are in position. Now we just grab dudes and start... yeah, we're doing some good work on those archers. Just grab dudes and start dropping rocks on the thick part of the enemy army. This would be a really good use of the co-op system. In co-op, in battles where you're playing with another player against an AI antagonist, you can give your partner player control of some of your units. I think it would be very effective here to have one person do most of the battle commanding and the other person just fly the flying units around and drop the rocks. That was Realm of Souls Charge 1, right? Pretty sure. It looks like this is the dense part of the enemy formation right now. Maybe even a little bit more like this angle. The Realm of Souls healing is a pretty powerful thing. It doesn't just heal wounded figures, it will actually resurrect dead figures as well, as you might expect, you know, because they're undead. They can just get back up. But my experience has been that it's not super powerful. Alright, let's deal with this. That's interesting. They brought the Ushabti up in the middle of our Legion of Saurus Spears, who are unlikely to die easily in combat. You can see they're pretty huge and heavily armored. And they're spear infantry. They're anti-large. I'm just gonna let them deal with that. That seems like very under control. Our Blessed Carnosaur run forward and paste some of these sword dudes. Want to keep them off of the spears if we can. Bring you guys up. These red-crested skinks, I assume got like crypt swarmed while I wasn't looking. That right there is exactly the sort of thing that a person controlling the army as a whole would have been able to handle. Okay, we've been a lot better about the rocks this time, actually remembering to use them. Is there anything else I need to do here? I don't think we need to bring the melee forward just yet. And because these are spear units, well, because this is a spear unit, I don't necessarily want to charge right into them with the cavalry to try to break them. You know what, now that we know that the Temple Guard won't be needed for fighting the Ushabti, I want to bring them forward and have them in a good blocking position. Probably over here, actually. Alright, let's get that final rock drop off. Those guys. Okay, Carnosaur's doing Carnosaur stuff. Ushabti are basically dead. And we just commit these guys right here, right? And the ranged units can... these guys are probably not going to have to fall back, but I do want the cavalry to fall back. Maybe sideways more than backwards, though. A couple of them got kind of caught. Alright, spears are done taking out the Ushabti. Instead, these cavalry kind of wing around and hit, like, these big groups of severely injured dudes in the back. And also let us throw another Amber Spear and then get over here and drop some more magic, because we have a lot of good magic to use. Oh, hey, they also have some magic. Look at that, this like line of arrows thing that they've targeted in a way that doesn't make any sense at all. Oh, you know what? I think they targeted on the cavalry on approach, and it's just bad aim because our cavalry is fast. Okay, well, I think this is pretty much over. If we're gonna drop some damage magic, it probably goes over here. Like the guys on this side are the ones who are most capable of continuing to fight, which obviously is solvable. We can fix that problem. I don't even know what you guys are doing right now. Okay. Let's, like, cast some spells. I'm just letting Tiktaq'to stay completely fresh. Alright, good charge. Get out of there, because the spears are on their way. Let's do a Thunderbolt. I think these guys are about to move in to right about there. Yeah, that was fairly accurate. Also, there's a Manticore. Maybe that'll help. Maybe that would be useful. I'm gonna have Tiktaq'to drop out of the sky and knock this dude over. The Carnosaur can help with that. That poor dude thought he was ancient, and then the Carnosaur showed up to explain to him what was what. Alright, I think I did a better job there, managing and surviving. It helps that the Ushab despawned in maybe the worst possible place. I guess it would have been slightly worse for them to be in the Temple Guard, but they did not manage to kill a single one of the Sauruses. I really like the red-crested skinks, and I think we'll probably keep using them throughout the campaign, because they do a lot of damage, but Sauruses are so tough. I have always been more of a kill the opponent than try harder to survive kind of strategist. It turns out people who are dead are usually pretty bad at killing you. Although, you know, there are exceptions, I guess. But you have to give the Sauruses the fact that they are very, very good at surviving. Like, really extraordinarily so. We're making a ton of money this turn, which is awfully nice. Got ourselves a level up. We can completely replenish our damaged cavalry. The Helm of Discord. Wow, a 25-second duration buff that just completely murders attack and defense. That seems very useful. We got ourselves another Sacred Plaque Librarian. I'm not sure. Some followers can only be equipped to some kinds of characters. I'm not actually sure how that guy is used. So do we want to pick up Stand Your Ground? We haven't even been using Rally, but that's because we have no leadership problems. Stand Your Ground, as a huge melee defense buff over an area, really does have a lot more uses. Or do we want to pick up, like, this? Make our skinks a little bit better at surviving melee combat. His army's a little bit more diverse now, though. Sort of makes all of these, like, only okay. Let's pick up Stand Your Ground. I think as a buff, Stand Your Ground is actually very powerful. And another level 4 Rockspur, who is going to become immortal very, very soon. What else does he need? Basically, do we think we're going to put him on the Ancient Stegodon? Because if we are, then it's probably like survival. You get the hit points and evasion and stuff. Well, not evasion, but resistances. In the air, he basically doesn't get attacked. So probably it would be speed. I guess let's take the survivalist points. Oh, huh. That was weird. Okay, yeah, let's take the survivalist points. Those will be at least somewhat useful in either arena. You know, hit points are good. Alright, this guy has a missile resistance shield, which makes a lot of sense. I don't know that we're going to be floating him into melee combat. I'm trying to figure out where that Helm of Discord would go. We don't really have a melee fighter. I guess we put it on the Skink Chief, maybe? Goes in the armor slot. Yeah, this is not great. He'll be close enough to battle that this will be reasonable, I think. Hopefully it works on people who are on the ground while you are in the air. Okay, and then Sacred Plaque Librarians can be attached to your heroes. Yeah, certain types of followers only attach to certain types of characters, and there's no indication that I can see on them anywhere of who they can or cannot be attached to, which is kind of annoying. Alright, time to see Lord Croak in action. So, King Tiktaq'to is rocking, first of all, a better class of melee units than we've been seeing. There's some Tomb Guards, some Hekaran Warriors, Tomb Guard with Halberds, who are actually, like, okay fighters. We definitely don't want them getting into our large. And he has a unit of Ushabti with great bows. These are big and dangerous, and we're going to have to actually focus on getting them down quickly. The settlement garrison has sphinxes, which are going to be a problem, and catapults, which would be more of a problem for other people. Since our army is so heavily flying, we'll be able to fly over the walls and drop the catapult crew pretty quickly, probably. Okay, so the catapult and the Ushabti great bows have to be dealt with. We have a couple of banners. Who wants a banner? We should probably give speed and combat penalties caused by terrain are ignored by this unit. This probably won't do anything at all. We'll throw it on him so he can't get slowed down by stuff. And then leadership up, I don't know, man. The lowest level pterodon so that he doesn't break and run if he gets shot with that great bow. Okay, let's do it. I think we should be able to win this. And I'm excited to see Lord Croak cause a really large explosion. Plus, I think probably this battle will get our Skink Chief enough XP to be able to get Arcane Conduit and really improve the number of spells he can cast in a battle. I'm not casting super fast with him, in part because his spells seem not amazing. But at some point we're going to be having harder battles that are going to demand more use of our tools, and when those battles come, we will be happy that we have Arcane Conduit. So, my first inclination is to set up on this side so that there's nobody on the towers over here, so that the reinforcement army can just fly in safely. I think that's what we're probably going to do. We'll set up over here near this edge of the wall so that we can unite quickly if we have to. So we'll start the flyers all the way over here. Try to draw as many bodies off this way as we can. And then, is it this? This is the gate we're going through. He's allowed to stand right there, but not while facing this direction, because I guess his nose is too far forward that way. Yeah, you can see there's certain angles I'm not allowed to place him at when he's right here. That's weird. Okay. And then all of the other troops just go right there. Okay. Lord Croak and Yarick can hang out in this area. So what spells are we looking at exactly here? Yarick has Wind Blast, which costs 8 winds. Cause protection. 30 armor on the flying units as they're doing their initial fighting. Could be pretty significant. Like, we definitely want to get him over by the wall so that he can cast over it. Soul Quench is a powerful explosion that costs 7 winds. Tempest is anti-flying. They do have a couple of flying units, so I guess we have to care about that a little bit. I saw some buzzards. And then Croak himself just has his 3 big explosions. Interestingly, they don't have a cooldown listed. Like, you can see that 32 there is a 32-second cooldown. Do his abilities not have a cooldown? Are they one-time use, maybe? They don't say a limited number of charges. Maybe I can just slam on them until we run out of winds? Which I will do, if that's an option that I'm given. Okay. So you are in melee mode. Go over there and smash that gate. Do I want to go over there and smash that gate? I don't really want to get engaged with the Necrosphinx before we're ready. Maybe I just want him to get over there and be ready to smash that gate. I'm going to keep him on melee mode because I'm afraid he'll shoot at it with his big ballista. I do not want him damaging the gate until we have told him that it is the time. These guys are all Fire Leech Bolas, which is just so good. It's going to be such a big problem for the enemy. And then you guys are just getting as close to the wall as possible, right? We'll figure out exact positions once we're a little closer. So they put their archers all on this corner. Oh man, they actually have a lot of archers between the two armies. So we're definitely going to have somebody, once we get inside, break off and attack in that direction. I guess we should just go ahead and give manual orders here, as tedious as that can be. 2 of you are going to get inside and kill those guys. Next 2 of you are going to get inside and kill these guys. The next two units of Fire Leech Bullets should be sufficient to kill a unit of archers pretty quickly, I think. But that's not the right buttons. There we go. And cue these orders correctly. This is pretty important that we get on the other side of the towers. That has to happen, like, quickly. And then we only have one guy left in the queue here to jump on this unit of archers, but that unit of archers will also be the initial target for everybody coming in over there. We're going to have to pause a lot for issuing orders to the incoming reinforcement army units. We could threaten this door, since this is not where their Sphinx is. That's right, they have two Sphinxes. They have one at each place. Well, okay, I don't know exactly what your plan is, but get over here and we'll figure it out. So, Lord Croak, what is the distance at which we can cast your very fine spells? Because I would think I would like to try one. I want to try the big one. Let's see what the big one does. The Deliverance of Itza 3. Okay, so he can cast it out to right here, right now. He only has to move a little bit to get to there. Do we want to cast it there, or do we want to like wait until melee starts and things are grouping up a little bit? I kind of want to just see what it does. This is like a test nuke. Let's find out. Got a fairly long cast time. Oh, they seem to be aware of it. Wow, that is powerful. Okay, now we have a sense of it. All right, let's figure out exactly what we want to do with these units. This one is the Skink Chief, so I'd love to kill the Lord of the Garrison if we could do that. King Tiktaq'to is the Lord of the Reinforcement Army. Where is the Lord of the Garrison? Because breaking down their leadership, obviously, is pretty valuable. I actually do not see him. It is worth noting that the Kebrian War Sphinx has it also has a crew of dudes on its back who shoot bows. So it doesn't have great ranged attacks, but it does do range damage, and we have to be a little careful of that. I don't want to get any of my flyers, especially any of my flying characters, picked off. I guess for right now, we'll just have him fire at King Tiktaq'to, because I don't know what else to do with him. The wizard, once he gets in, should fly over to here, and then we'll figure it out from there. Okay. Here come the guys with the actual ranged attacks. We can clean up some dudes on the way. We have a lot of rocks, so I think it is in our best interest to use them aggressively here. We want to trigger those Realm of Souls things as quickly as we can. I believe the way those work is like each charge triggers when a certain percentage of your army has been killed. So in a battle like this where they have more dudes, we have to kill more dudes to set off the charges. Trying to get set up as close to the wall as possible so that we're not taking any more tower fire. And all of these units have to... Oh, they're casting some kind of spell. All these units have to actually get over here. I don't know, just kind of get in front of the gate. We'll figure it out. All the flying units on this side. We probably want to do some command grouping here, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to keep straight who is where. You guys just need to get inside. And the Ripperdactyl Riders, I think I would like to have fighting their flyers, but we have to do that in a place that's safe. They've kept their Shopti Greatbows back to defend the siege crew. So definitely we have a couple of these guys come over and hammer the siege crew. It's currently not doing a whole lot. I think it's actually firing at the flying units, which is a bad play. Yeah, I'm a little worried about... Okay, let's have Tiktaq'to's Air Force come this way, and we're just going to fight the Great Bow. I think we have to try to get rid of those Great Bows. You guys are very slowly doing the thing I told you to do. I'm going to have them go after the catapult crew. We'll use bombs to soften up this unit of archers. Because it's not like... Catapults are not great against flying units, as you might imagine. You miss a lot. But it's still not great to just let the catapult crew shoot at you. Okay, they spawned their Ushabti already? Okay, well, that is a pretty good place for them, unfortunately. How do we want to deal with that? Well, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and fire off this 44% damage resistance. This seems like a good time for it. Secondly, I can't help but notice that most of the archers are still alive. That could be not true anymore. That would be alright. Drop a pretty good thunderbolt right there, and then probably do some rock dropping. We'll fly forward and do a little drop here. And then who is staying in and who is trying to back up? Salamander hunting pack, it would be best if... See, we can't even like move over this way. There's no dead zone between these towers. And anywhere we move to try to get a good salamander shot on the Ushabti is still going to get picked on by the towers. How do we deal with this? I guess we just have to have people run. We've got them worried about the gates. They're staying mostly in front of the gate over here. Yeah, we just have to have, basically, everybody plan to move over, and some people are going to get stuck on the Ushabti, and we can figure out exactly what we want to do after we see who that is. Alright. Rocks for the archers. Nope, you don't even have your rocks. That's right, I used yours. Rocks for the archers. Okay, that was an alright lightning storm. It is a unit of red-crested skinks, it looks like, that will be bravely sacrificing their lives to allow us to shoot lots of salamander shots at these Ushabti. There's a bunch of salamanders who are also just kind of standing around over there. And then we have recovered some winds of magic. So do I like look at that? Look at the grouping. Do I want to just throw another big explosion over there? He seems very good. Maybe I don't want to do it while they can, like, they're moving right now, right? And they can keep moving. All right. Velocodon dudes, get in here on these carrion. All of you are on Ushabti Greatbow duty. Can't help but notice those catapult crews are still, like, pretty alive. That could be changed, maybe. So we've done a lot of damage to a lot of their archers. You have your rocks. Okay, this is how we'll deal with this. Come back to that guy in a moment. Who do I want these fire leech bowlers focused on? Right now they're just shooting at random skeleton spearmen or swordsmen, which is not probably the most optimal thing they could be doing. I guess we'll have them grab the archers while these guys stay focused on the crew. Okay, so we have a lot of units doing a lot of things. Let's get what looks like a pretty juicy rock drop-off. And had to pause for a minute to draw all the explosions. And then from there, you're just firing at, like, spears, I guess? I don't know if there's anything else terribly important to grab over here. Oh, there's a unit of skeleton archers that is not being properly harassed. Tiktaq'to. I guess Tiktaq'to's probably pretty good against other flying units. So the Velocodon hunters are in. We are, at the very least, the Ushabti Greatbow are running. Faster and stronger enemies nearby. I think that they're a little confused. We definitely do not, without question, do not have any stronger enemies nearby. I'm not actually going to open the gate on this side the same way I'm not actually opening the gate on the other side. We're just going to make them think it's a possibility that they have to stay put. And we've almost cleared the towers. We've almost made ourselves a little safe zone to stand in. We just got to finish off these guys. So, can I get some more people over here for that purpose? Oh, we have another set of rocks available. Let's drop some more rocks. The biggest problem here is going to be this Tomb Prince. The rocks are not going to be able to totally kill him, but we can give him a little bit of fire vulnerability. And then we have a skink chief somewhere at Roxburgh who is shooting at... Wow, he's shooting at the guy he's done like basically no damage to. It would actually be really helpful if you would help us get rid of Sulek. Okay, this seems to be... Yeah, it's not going great, but it's going. The thing is getting done eventually. Are there any spells... I kind of want to save all of my Winds of Magic, I think, for the Deliverance of Itza. Maybe I'm being too stingy with it. But I think that's pretty important. Alright, so we're getting rid of these guys. The Colossadon... Or the, the Pterodon... No, wait, I selected the wrong dudes there. Yeah, the Colossadon Hunters. I think disposed of that one unit of Carrion. I can get over here and deal with these guys as well. Carrion are really weak. They're useful in that ranged, like, flying units are always useful. Right? You can do things that the enemy would prefer you not do because they have a lot of... they have a serious inability to prevent you from doing stuff. But as far as flying units go, they're pretty bad. Okay, we still have some archers to deal with. It turns out they just had a huge number of archers. A really frustratingly large number of archers. But once we have control of the wall area and also... okay, we have some rocks we can drop. Once we have control of the wall area and we have most of their ranged units down, we can just expend the rest of our ammo, softening them up. Okay, good rock drop. Very solid hit there. Get ourselves a drop on those guys. Okay, that one worked. We gotta get back behind here. Fire at him, and let's drop an Amber Spear on him as well, I guess. It's not... Yeah, even Overcast, it's not terribly expensive. It's only 9. It's weird that we blow a big horn every time we do magic. Not sure what that's about. Okay, we are killing the skeleton archers. The catapults are somehow still alive enough to fire. The Great Vortex are fighting back, but they're getting beaten. I don't think it's worth dropping rocks on them because they're not tightly grouped enough and they're not individually weak enough. It looks like we are getting the part of the battle where they can deal damage to us pretty well under control here. If you have rocks, we can speed this up. It's a little embarrassing that between the two armies, I drop a big rock on them is like the height of the military technology on display. So yeah, at this point, with control over the towers and the ranged units, it would not be... You guys maybe get behind the wall. It would not be super useful for us to open the gates. We have the advantage. Okay, and the one bit of wall that they still control and still have the towers up on doesn't actually hurt anybody. Alright, so yep, I was hoping for some of this. Man, they're spitting that. Think about the math involved. I think these guys are a little smarter than we've been giving them credit for. Alright, so that's King Tiktaq'to down there. Great Vortex are toast. Very well done. So I guess come over here and let's start working on this part. Again, being near the Kemerian War Sphinx means suffering ranged attacks. Maybe it would be better to work everywhere else first. Let's get rid of some Tomb Guard. You know, we have seen whole armies collapse from losses without necessarily having to actually kill all of the units in them. Maybe we could get away with not even fighting the War Sphinx if we're smart about this. Looks like all of the ranged attacking is being done by me. We cannot see his range just by mousing over him, but presumably it's fairly short. Alright, let's maybe cycle Lord Croak around this side. Because maybe dropping explosions on that that group of units behind that gate is a good use of him. The Tomb Prince is off the wall. We should see these towers no longer Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We should see these towers no longer operational pretty soon as units from the Skeleton Archer, or as figures from the Skeleton Archer unit slowly die. Starting to run out of ammo, but we're doing good work. These, for some reason, the non-blessed Pterodon riders, just like they haven't figured out how to build better bags. It's like a slightly larger bag to hold your fire leeches. You know, I wouldn't have thought so, but after seeing how much damage they've done to they did to the great bows, probably we could just have them take out the normal Ushabti, right? I'll drop some rocks over here. And turn back around and drop some rocks over on these dudes. You know, I guess a one explosive rock just to set up the fire resistance, or the fire resistance reduction on the Ushabti is probably a good idea. Debuff him for a minute here. You guys can help with that as well. Oh no, sorry, never mind. Never mind, you're out of ammo. Do not get into melee. Okay, so they have no more control of their towers. Let's deliver Itza all over their faces. I'm curious how much damage it'll do to the War Sphinx. Wow, look at that. It just laid those guys flat. The answer is none. It did functionally no damage to the War Sphinx. It is very much a hitting lots of low health entities kind of spell. Good to know. How is, where is Roxburgh? Did we kill that Tomb Prince, or where did he go? I guess we must have actually killed him. A little surprised by that. Alright, well, let's have Roxburgh get over here. I'm just kind of letting my guys do their thing in a lot of places. So, remaining units that I care about. I think it's just the two Sphinxes, right? We dealt with, like, everything else of value. This unit of Ushabti is still up, but not for much longer. We killed their halberd unit pretty badly. Yeah, the Sphinxes are the only things left that matter. We've run ourselves pretty much out of magic. We can do one more medium-sized deliverance of Itza. I think that's probably a good use for the rest of our wins. Man, that's pretty alright. Okay, I think it's time to start knocking. We are going to have to fight these War Sphinxes, it looks like. The army as a whole is not panicking and breaking. I can't help but notice that we're not doing damage to the Ushabti anymore because we're all running out of ammunition. That's not great. At some point, do we just commit all the flyers to the ground to try to clean up the really wounded units in there? Maybe. Who still has ammo? You have ammo. I do kind of want those Ushabti down. You still have a little bit. Yeah, you're shooting at stuff that matters. And most of the rest of the units of ammo are not flying. Alright, with them having no control over the towers over here, let's try to arc some shots over the wall. The troops on this side are pretty busted up. I don't think I actually want to open this gate. At least, not until we break through this gate and the fresher army draws the attention of some of these guys. But we can, for the moment, be content with just arcing some salamander shots over the gate. And on this side, these salamanders are not doing a great job of that thing. Yeah, we're gonna have to knock. Okay, so we're reasonably well positioned for this. Let's make sure the Temple Guard are right up front on some chameleon skinks close behind. We'll figure the rest of it out after the gates open. But that War Sphinx is gonna have to get Temple Guarded right away. So it looks like we did finish off the Ushabti. I'm going to have these guys come around and start firing at the units over here by the gate. We're definitely going to start taking some War Sphinx fire. I'm not going to bother shooting at the War Sphinx with the fire leeches. I think that would probably be ineffective. And whatever rocks we have left, we're saving for when the melee is actually joined and the enemy forces are more or less stationary. Almost through. It's worth remembering our caster does have 2 uses of his bound spell. Because it's a bound spell, it's not based on wind spending. Where are the Colossadon guys? The Colossadon hunters are still as effective as they were at the beginning of the battle, and if they lost any vigor fighting the carrion, they've certainly had time to recover it. So we're going to have them drop in over here as well, probably once the actual melee begins. Alright, doors open, boys. Sorry, Temple Guard, but you have to go through first. This is your job. Somebody has to start killing that War Sphinx. I mean, the Carnosaur goes through too. They do have the halberd guys still. We should probably focus a little bit on that, but not very many of them, and they're probably going to die pretty quickly. And it would be really great if we could get our salamanders. Like here, let's have the unit of red-crested skinks run through, try to make sure these dudes die. It would be great if we could have the salamanders get through over to here, and set up in a position where they can start shooting down there a little bit, while also being able to shoot at the War Sphinx if we need them to. We'll have Lord Croak stay close on this side because he can still use his damage resistance thing. I'd like to hold off on spending the damage resistance charge until we get a little bit more engaged. Oh, dinosaur rampaged instantly. Okay, maybe we need to throw this down. He actually is. He is taking visible damage fighting that War Sphinx. He's also dealing quite a lot. All right, good dome. We got to keep an eye on these guys. As soon as these guys start breaking over to help their friends, we open the gate. And if they don't break to help their friends, then that's actually totally fine for us. Have the Colossadon dudes drop on this War Sphinx from here. We still have some rocks left, like I said. I might... If we use the Rod of the Storm right now, it might do some good damage. We might want to tell the Colossadon hunters to hold off for a second. Maybe don't charge until the lightning hits. Oh, I did not mean to tell you guys to go in at all. I think I ordered the wrong unit to charge. Alright, I'm not sure that I hit anything meaningful with that lightning. And go nuts. Intentionally rampage. Yeah, they're just, not responding at all. They're content to just hang out in the middle. Okay, well, I think we're going to get this thing under control then. It seems to be a little bit outmatched. It's just a lot going on here. Carnosaur has started fighting the little dudes. Wow. That, diving tackle thing he does looks terrifying every single time. Imagine the mass of that. Okay. Good stuff. So we control this side now, which means that we can have these guys set up safely over here. We still have lots and lots of ammo on these salamanders. They're going to lose control of the center. And the fact that we have units over here seems to be keeping them very focused on this area. Okay. Just pick targets and start working. You guys have to get really close to fire, huh? I think the Regiment of Renown's fire breath looks a little bit like fireworks. Just like rockets going off. You gotta give this... this Tomb King is a gutsy dude. Nope, he changed his mind. He's no longer feeling as gutsy. Well, no reason to risk the Carnosaur until we run out of fire breath here. Okay, I think they just broke formally. Okay, well, we suffered some losses there, but we got to play with our new toys a little bit. I definitely did not command the battle totally optimally, but optimally enough. We're going to recover from these losses pretty quickly. And we just got ourselves both a new objective region and a fairly large settlement. This is an 8 slot, I think. And it has some kind of important building in it. And I think from the mouse over text, it was one we're actually going to be able to build. A lot of the landmark settlements in our area so far have been only special buildings that are only available to the Tomb Kings. I'm hoping that we are going to actually get some value out of this one. So Tiktaq'to's army suffered almost no losses. Yarrick had to bear the weight of that. Lord Croak has 340 kills. He cast 3 spells, and one of them was like pretty non-ideally targeted just for the purpose of testing. Seems powerful. It seems like Yarrick's army is probably not going to... Like, Yarrick himself is maybe not going to get a lot of casting done if we set it up this way, so I almost wonder if we should swap Lord Croak into Tiktaq'to's army and move the Skink Priest over into Yarrick's? I don't know. We'll figure it out. It probably will not be... Oh no, see, this is looting. Man, do we want to sack this? That's a ton of money. Maybe we do just go ahead and get our Blessed Saurus Warrior spawning. Because that's a lot of money. The thing is, if we don't take this now, the buildings in it are going to be pretty wrecked when we do take it. That's too much money. That's just a lot of money. I probably wouldn't have done that if we didn't have a Blessed Spawning quest that involved sacking stuff, but I think it's reasonable here. Okay. We can buff up the Supreme Shield of the Old Ones. More points in it. Okay, nothing changes except the cooldown. But eventually you get it down to 60-second cooldown with an 18-second uptime, which seems very good. We start leveling up the Deliverance of Itza. We lower the cost, which is pretty cool. And then we can eventually get him into having Arcane Conduit, which I think is probably... This should be our first priority with him. Yeah, so put a point into Deliverance of Itza. We're going to level these spells up, get him Arcane Conduit so he can cast a lot. And then once he and Yarrick both have Arcane Conduit, we probably will be able to cast quite a bit with them. And Arcane Conduit for you as well. So every 90 seconds you get to press a button that's just give me more stuff, give me more wins. Alright, so we'll have you... Oh, we can occupy it and sack it in the same turn because we can use the second army to do the occupy. I was not thinking about that. That's pretty cool. So then how many turns do we have left on that quest? In 13 turns, we need to sack Khemri. I think that seems very doable. Alright, unfortunately, we are going to have to spend some of the money rebuilding, but not that much of it. And I think we're actually just going to remove this. Comes with a Shrine of the Old Ones. That's pretty nice. We probably will not need... Here, let's run the Public Order Province. We probably won't need this either. I'm just going to demolish that. I don't know what we're going to build here, but it's probably not going to be a skink recruitment building. Alright, who has unassigned skill points? One of our distant heroes? Yeah, one of our exploration heroes is slowly leveling up. I'm pretty curious about... Okay, so the settlements over here have been taken by people from the Dark Elf continent. Well, that's good. That means the whole area isn't given over to Dark Elves. Because screw that. And I don't know if you... Like, we met the last defenders. Do we need to move any further? We can, with this guy, we can disband him, and he'll reappear over in our lands, like, in a few turns. We don't have to manually walk him all the way back. I guess let's get more vision of what's going on around here. Alright, and then with 25,000 gold available, what do we want to do? Well, we know one thing we want to do is upgrade Alhaik. We probably don't need to bother upgrading the growth building. We're going to definitely need walls around Phyrus. But maybe walls around Phyrus are not the highest priority? debating whether we want to maybe like build a recruitment building here instead. I guess we would. The only one we would build here is the Cold One Caves, and we have to be up at tier 3 before that will make sense to do. So let's do this. This region down here, Lashiek's going to need walls. We're definitely upgrading all of our financial buildings, so the ones we can afford to upgrade. The Wizard Caliph's Palace. What do we want to do with you? I guess we don't have a growth structure here, but we're growing pretty quickly anyway. It's going to take a long time for this settlement to cap out, though. We probably don't need this anymore, now that things are a little bit more settled. Go ahead and build me a growth building, and then we'll build something else in that slot. And if we're going to upgrade the economic structures anywhere, it should be here first, because we already have the multipliers in place. What are we going to build in Al-Khalabad? I guess it could just be another stone marker. And if we have fully leveled up economic buildings in every settlement in this province, this is going to be one of the best places to do this. We could build some of these instead. This is going to end up being plus 10% income from this province, though. Yeah, I think that's probably the right move. And then just more money. Well, actually, hold on. We get to build actual purple buildings. We should do that. The economic stuff is important, but also this other stuff is important. So do we need... we don't need a beast lair for the determining of the Great Plan. But we will want one eventually so that we have the ability to summon these beasts. This is stuff that we want to build forward, though. So we could put up a weapon crafters commune. We don't need to have that in the same place as the units that it allows recruitment of. But that building does not give any money. Wondering if we do just want to, like, focus on the purple buildings that increase your income. Because the Great Desert is sort of the economic breadbasket of our territory. Yeah, like, let's build this over here, out of the way. We do need to keep upgrading our Geomantic Spire. That helps, and also increasing the strength of the Geomantic Web is important. Is there a commandment that is more economics focused? This one's better for fighting in the local area. This one is better for resisting Skaven in the local area. And this one is better for research rate. Yeah, we are actually running the income one. Okay, well, we don't actually have the basic economy structure here yet. That's probably a thing worth doing. So I'm very focused on upgrading our economy because of the fact that that's gonna be how we get that third army. Right, I don't know exactly what we're going to build in the Black Pyramid of Nagash. I don't know that it makes sense to use it as a recruitment region if we're planning to have recruitment buildings here and in the region to the west of this. And this is going to end up... well, I was going to say this is going to end up being kind of in the middle of our empire, but I don't know that we actually are going to take any more lands to the east because we are not incentivized to do so by our objectives or anything. Obviously, having more land means you make more money. Yeah, we'll probably just keep pushing east. We'll end up barreling through a lot of the Khemri in this area because if we're going to have to establish control over these regions down here in the corner anyway, it doesn't make sense to have our nation be broken in half by a bunch of people who could turn hostile or refuse to let us march our armies through. Faction emerges the border princes, huh? So what this means is that somebody who owned a settlement that originally belonged to the border princes neglected their public order enough to let a rebellion army spawn, and rebellion armies in areas that used to have a real faction will sometimes be of that faction, like if the area is not too corrupted by undead or anything. And if that army manages to retake the settlement because you were not defending it while also disregarding its public order, then they just become the faction again. We gotta get an eye on what's going on up north. That might be a good thing for this Scout Skink to do once we're done with him exploring the corner. Because stuff is happening up here, and it seems very strange. I would like to have some idea what exactly is occurring. We also need to know what's going on in Dwarfland. Not because I'm particularly worried about the dwarves, but because if the dwarves manage to beat the nearby orcs into a moment of weakness, we want to be able to capitalize. We are going to have to take out some of these orcs. And the dwarves might make good trading partners once we can actually get our territory over to meet theirs. They often have a lot of money. Alright, well I think this is, we're probably not going to do anything. Oh dear. Recruit the following type of unit, War Beast. Any one of these to gain a recruitment cost reduction and a recruitment rank buff for War Beasts. I don't care about this. We'll recruit some War Beasts if it makes sense to do so. Tiktaq'to has hit level 29. I sort of want to just get all of the stuff in this box. We don't know how we're going to change his army composition over the course of the game. So let's start with the Saurus and Temple Guard buff. We have one unit of each of those things. We do also have that... oops, I right-clicked. We do have that Feral Carnosaur. Yeah, sure. We'll buff the Feral Carnosaur first. He's very important to us. So Tiktaq'to's army is already completely regenerated. Yarick's army could use a little bit more time. But I think we know what our next plan is. It almost certainly is just we have to go to war with Numas. I was really hoping that Numas and the Top-Knots here would fight, but it looks like we're going to have to do all of the fighting on both of those fronts, which is a crying shame. But I think we're in a good position here. We're in a good position to do it. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time when, sadly, we will have to dispatch more Tomb Kings. And we'll see you then.